In this video, we're going to talk about how to choose the best credit card for your lifestyle. We're going to go over some of the best tips and tricks that I utilize to find which ones work best for me. That way I don't overspend and I also get the best rewards along with them. Hey, what's up guys? My name is Chase and this is a penny pincher's guide to personal finance. If you do like this video, then consider subscribing and liking it so that we can put more content out like this and you can see more videos on our channel. So let's jump right into this video. So credit cards can be a great way to build your credit, especially when it comes to buying a house or getting a loan for your car. With all the different ways to earn rewards and cash back, it's kind of hard to figure out which one might work best for your situation. So let's dive into the tips that I would recommend to find the credit card that works best for you. All right, so number one is going to be to make sure that you know your credit score before you even apply for a credit card. You can do this with multiple free online credit score websites like Credit Karma or CreditSesame.com. When you do that, you're going to need to go ahead and look at the credit cards that you're interested in and determine if they're even accepting people with credit scores in that particular range. And if your credit score might be a little bit too low for you to be accepted for some of these bigger name credit cards out there, then consider going forward with a secured credit card. And there will be a link at the end of this video that talks a little bit more about how that works and how that can help increase your credit score. All right, so number two is going to be focusing on which type of credit card you actually need for your current situation. Now, in a nutshell, there's about three different types of credit cards out there. Number one is going to be rewards cards. Number two is balance transfer cards. And then the third one is going to be a low interest card. For the majority of the time, what's going to be benefiting you the most, it is going to be the rewards card, but there might be certain situations where the other two might work best for your current case. Now, generally speaking, here at a penny pincher's guide, we do not recommend carrying balances, and that will kind of go into the different types of cards that you're looking at. If you're somebody that just has no option and has to carry a balance, then the low interest cards are the ones that you would want to go for. But in my opinion, if you are having to carry a balance, then you probably shouldn't have a credit card and you should focus more so on using debit cards or checks so that you are not going to be overspending. The balance transfer cards are going to be useful if you have multiple different sources of debt and you're going to be consolidating them all down to one, and that'll help you pay them off a little bit faster and make it a little bit easier to understand. And then the third category is going to be the rewards credit cards. There's a number of them out there that are going to be giving you certain points as well as certain cash back or other things out there that might come along with that. And if you utilize them correctly, then you can actually get 2, 3, 4% cash back, points back on your purchase when you're utilizing these cards appropriately. And this is the category that I do recommend here on this channel. And there are a plethora of different videos out there that we can give you and show you up, and that'll be linked up above as well to kind of talk about which cards are options out there and ones that you can utilize to continue to build your credit as well as to get some good cash back from that. All right, so now you determine which type of card you need and what your credit score is. Now you need to determine and look at different factors that are associated with all the different cards that are out there. So we need to narrow that potential bundle of cards that you can choose from down into a funnel and find the one that works best for your situation. All right, so for me, I'm going to be focusing on three big things when I'm looking at cards. The first one is going to be the rewards that are associated with it. If I'm going to be getting cash back versus points back, then I want to make sure that the cash back is worth it. Or if I'm getting points, I want to make sure that I can utilize those points appropriately. If I'm really restricted on where I can use them, like if I'm getting a Delta or a Hilton card, then I'm only going to be using those points at those specific locations. But if I'm getting an American Express or a Chase Sapphire card, then I can get those points and they really will transfer out to multiple different transfer partners out there, and I can get a great benefit from those from multiple different partners. All right, number two that I focus on is the annual fee. And I don't put a lot of weight on this because a lot of it can lead from having an annual fee usually have benefits associated with the card. And that's number three is the benefits. So if I have a great card like the American Express Platinum card that have a number of different credits and benefits associated with it that outweigh that hefty fee, then in my opinion, that annual fee is okay because I have more than paid it off by all the things that come along with the card. For instance, a $695 annual fee with the American Express Platinum card is easily paid for with the credits, with the travel credits, the Saks Fifth Avenue credits, the Uber credits, and multiple other things out there that I get with my card. So I will continue to use it and continue to pay the annual fee because I do think their benefits are well worth it. Now, another thing to think about when you're looking into cards that you can get is the interest rate. For me, I don't put a lot of weight in that because I do not carry balances on a monthly basis. I will typically pay it off 5 to 10 days later so that I'm not carrying a larger balance and so that it won't affect my credit score. But if that is something that it will be affecting you, then look at that interest rate, because having those high interest rates will really make you end up paying a lot more. It will not make the card be worth it in the long run. Now, once you've used all of the different criteria to narrow down the list and find the one that works best for you, then you need to go ahead and apply for that card. Now, my last tip for these cards is going to be to focus on looking into Reddit or on Google or just anywhere on the internet and see if you can find a referral link, because you can get a lot of rewards associated with it just with that referral link. A lot of these referral options, if you spend a certain amount of money within the first 3 to 6 months of having that card, you can get anywhere between $500 to $1,000 worth of value associated with those referral bonuses whenever you do reach those amounts. So really make sure that you are able to meet that threshold before getting that card so that you can then get that rewards value and not end up spending more money than you typically would do just to get that amount. Now, keep in mind, getting these credit cards and having all these benefits, these credits, these rewards associated with it are great. But if you end up changing your spending habit just to get this card so that you can get all these rewards, then it's not going to be worth it. You should only be utilizing these cards like you'd be using a debit or a checking account, checking card. And if you are using more or spending more, then take a step back, reevaluate it, and determine if you even need to stick with this card or not. Researching into these cards and finding ones that fit your needs as well as your spending habits is just as important as picking the right card. I hope this gave you a little bit more information and insight on how I determine which cards are best for me. And if you're interested in looking a little bit more into a few of my favorite credit cards, then there will be a link up above going over a couple different cards that we suggest and that we recommend, and going into a deep dive in how we think they are worth it in the long run. Hope you got some good information from this video. As always, we want to remind you that we are here from your first penny to your first million. We'll see you next time.